All right, Phil Tocci. How'd I do?
Perfect.
Oh my gosh. I think it's been, did you tell me 6 years since we've seen each other?
5 or 6 years. Let's say 5.
It was at an Academy event because you are the regional sales leader of Academy.
Correct.
But today I get the privilege of interviewing you as the chairman of the Massachusetts MBA. I got to tell you, it's a high paying job, right?
Oh, the benefits are tremendous.
Amazing. And I just first, I got to start by saying thank you to all the MBA chairmen and presidents out there that are really leading the charge for an industry that is very small and has a lot of commonalities, which also has a lot of challenges. So why don't we start with, what are the top 3 challenges that you face, that you're facing today?
I would say in my tenure as chairman for the Massachusetts MBA, one of the initiatives that we embarked on was reconnecting and reinvigorating our membership to get connected to each other, but also to increase our membership. So that's sort of the 1 and 2 right there. And then the third is to educate that membership as to all of the matters that seem to be cascading down upon the industry from the state level, but also to the national level.
So 3, you said reconnecting with your members, increasing membership, and educating your membership. They sort of tie together. By educating them, I'm guessing that would increase them.
Correct.
Membership, right? So is there a topic right now that is really that you're focused on to help in the education?
So there are 2 areas that we've primarily focused on. One is compliance. There seems to be a greater regulatory overreach into lenders having to report up or report into, whether it be the CFPB or the GSEs directly, all of their truth in lending data, their HMDA data, et cetera, but also at the state level, the legislative issues that are coming forward in the form of increased taxes or increased regulatory oversight at the state level, as well as not only the federal level.
How do you think that's going to impact the consumer with what's happening at the legislative level?
Well, history has shown us, and in my personal opinion, it'll likely increase cost to the consumer in obtaining a mortgage.
Sure. It always ends up costing the consumer at the end.
Yep.
So as you look at the New England MBAs coming up, right?
Yep.
And you
in
guys
a couple
are
of
part
weeks.
of that. And how many MBAs are actually part of the New England MBA?
So it is 6, Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Massachusetts. And there's a very good representation of each state there. It's held in Rhode Island this year. And there's a lot of excitement about it because not only are we coming out of this pandemic situation and people are feeling a little bit more at ease about it, even though last year we did have a conference, this seems to be a little bit more eagerly anticipated by the membership. We've got some great speakers lined up. We've got Dave Stevens. We've got Matt Graham of Mortgage News Daily. We've got Logan Motoshami from Housing Wire. We just got some great speakers, as well as some of our local experts who are stepping up. So it's going to be a great 2-day event.
So are you looking at, let's see, how long have you been the chairman of the MBA for?
So chairman served for 1 year, but I've been on the board of directors now for over 7 years. So it's a progression. Yeah.
Well, what a blessing you are. 7 years.
I'm not alone.
Are we done at the end of this one?
Well, there's an ex officio years and then we're done. So.
Then we're done. Okay. Well, I have been really blessed to serve the mortgage industry for 30 plus years and outside the industry as well, serving others, and outside being oil and gas, technology, etc. But one of the things I'm finding that's common in every industry is leadership, right? Everything rises and falls based on the quality of the leader. Can you sort of share what attributes you think are the most critical for successful leaders?
So I think, you have to have the integrity to serve in a public, space, so to speak. You have to be, in order to be a representative of an association in a very high profile industry like mortgage lending, you need to be able to work well with others, but also stand up for yourself and stand for what you believe in. And with that comes the passion of giving back to the industry.
Sure.
And I'm surrounded by some great board members and previous chairs who served before me, who have set the bar pretty high, but also have made it very easy for me to live up to.
Mm.
And it's just it's a real joy. Our executive director in Massachusetts, Deb Souza, is an incredible, dedicated person. Really makes our life that much easier when you have, the people who make it all work behind the scenes. But we have a great board. Everyone's committed to it. Everyone serves. And it's not sort of a raise your hand and get appointed. You really have to kind of volunteer in advance of being appointed to the board. So passion is developed early on in a lot of the leaders.
Wow. Okay. So I asked you attributes and you mentioned multiple, right? Serve others, have integrity, have passion for what you do. And then something you said, I think Sue did it for you or others that you said sets the bar.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, I'll challenge any leader that's listening, whether it's MBA, president, chairman, or president of a company, is what bar have you set? When I first opened, and Phil, I don't even know if you remember way back in the days, but when I first opened, that's 20 years ago, by the way, I came out of the gate, right? And nobody knew who we were, like, who is XINNIX?
Mm-hmm.
And I set the bar. I said, let me show you how to get here. And most people were like, well, I just want to get to here. And I'm like, well, you get what you allow and you get what you set. So what do you want? And I love that you just said they've set the bar high and made it easy for you, because you didn't have to come in and go, well, we need to get here. They're already saying, let's go. And so then once the vision is clear, and I don't know how many leaders have really set the vision and their people know it by heart. So when you think about the future and of the MBAs today, and we're looking at the next generation of leaders, what are your goals for helping build them? And do you have specific things inside your MBA today where you're trying to build that future generation?
So we do. On a personal level, I feel like it's an obligation on my part to be a mentor to any young professional in this industry. I will always meet and talk with someone who's interested in getting into the business, whether it be operational or sales or administrative. That's a duty that I think all of us have in this industry. But at the Massachusetts MBA, we've gone out and reached out to the younger professionals, and we've initiated a program to where we recognize the rising stars of our association. And it is something that was modeled after the national MBA, but it was also something that we tailored to, the select unsung hero, if you will. It doesn't have to be someone who's a top producer or someone who's a great operational manager, et cetera. It can be administrative all the way up to sales and operations. We do a call out to every member to recognize someone in their organization who's young, under the age of 35, who's in the business and, has performed at a above average level in that organization. And we then usher them in and give them the accolades that they deserve, but we also then include them in special meetings, committees, and board meetings to where they can get exposed to the greater association as a whole. And then that further gets them to volunteer and step up.
I absolutely love that. Anyone listening, I'm hoping you're thinking, what kind of mentor program do you have, whether it's formalized or not? Is yours formalized? Do you have a process to execute all of this?
Yep. So we send out nomination announcements, and we run the campaign for roughly 90 days to year end, and then we'll extend it a little bit into the new year. And then we make the selections and the announcement at our annual meeting and recognize those individuals. And then we get them involved in the coming year's events and meetings.
Wow. Do you have a name of the program? Is it called Future Leaders?
It's the Rising Stars of the
Rising
Massachusetts.
Stars.
Yep, Rising Stars.
So how many Rising Stars do you have approximately?
So typically we average about a dozen a year. I think this last year we've had about 10. Yeah, we really push our board members and chair committee members to reach out and talk to all of their volunteers and go into the organization. We use social media. We send emails to everyone, and it really is our sort of our fourth quarter drive
What a
to bring those
beautiful
people
way.
in.
I absolutely love and appreciate the idea of building the future and the way you're recognizing them to pull them in to say, hey, we
Thanks.
realize the future is you. So congratulations on that initiative. Well, let's end with a question that I've always felt is a big one for me. What legacy do you want to leave as a leader? Because you're a leader in two places, well, multiple, right? Probably your family, your home,
Mhm.
at Academy and at the MBA. What do you want your legacy to be?
I've always lived up to the words that my father kind of instilled into me and my brothers when we were younger, which is, be a man of your word.
Mm,
When you say you're going to do something, do it. You say you're going to pick someone up, you pick them up. You say you're going to be there at a certain time, you be there at a certain time.
mm.
Never be late for a meeting, never, blow it off. And I think I want to be remembered for, he said he was going to do something and he did it. And I don't want people to doubt my word.
Wow. My husband, I have two little girls. They should be my grandchildren, but they're 16 and 13. So I started really late. But one thing my husband and I have been teaching our girls, sort of similar to be a man of your word, but it is your integrity is measured what you do when no one's watching.
Right.
And who you are, right, speaks so loudly. So I appreciate that, because if I had boys, it'd be a man of your word. And I actually have two nephews that we raised for 9 years. I call them my boys. And my husband would almost verbatim say, be a man of your word, but know that what you mean, that who you are speaks so loudly. And so I appreciate your time today and just a little bit of effort in just this conversation, but appreciate the big effort you're making for the MBA.
I appreciate the opportunity, and it's always great to connect with you again.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely.
Have a great day.
Thanks, Casey. Take care.